We're closer to long-term peace in the Middle East than we've been in a very, very long period of time, and it's solely due to Donald Trump's efforts, period. It's fantastic. Listen, the commodities market and oil operates a lot on emotion, and the shipping insurance market is so convoluted that the folks that own these vessels have to be incredibly cautious. So with this deal, we'll see the straits being opened, no tolls being charged for the vessels transiting the Straits of Hormuz, meaning that these crude oil prices are going to drop precipitously. But most importantly, Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. This incredibly dangerous, radical, Muslim mullah-controlled regime of Iran is responsible for the deaths of thousands of American citizens, including many of my friends.
Wisconsin Congressman Derek Van Orden earlier on this program with his reaction to this historic peace agreement between the U.S. and Iran after more than 100 days of conflict. President Trump confirming the deal will be signed in Switzerland on Friday, allowing time for mine removal in the Strait of Hormuz. Stage 1 includes reopening the strait, while Stage 2 reshapes power in the Middle East by limiting Iran's weapon capabilities. And oil this morning is down sharply on that. Oil it could go under 80 momentarily. Crude oil down 5.5%. Oil traffic is expected to flow freely again as nearly a quarter of the world's oil passes through the critical waterway. President Trump right now is on his way to France for the G7 summit, where the Iran deal will likely top the agenda with his European counterparts. And joining me now is former U.S. Special Envoy for Ukraine and AFPI Center for American Security co-chair, retired Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg. General, good to see you. Your reaction to everything happening last night and this morning.
Yeah, Lauren, thanks for having me. Good to be with you today. Look, give full credit to President Trump on doing this and actually shutting down Iranian's nuclear program, because presidents before him always talked about it, but they haven't done anything about it. And then even yesterday on some of the programs, you had people talking about it in a negative manner. Look, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, better known as the Iran Nuclear Plan, was set up in 2015, but it had sunset clauses. And right now, some of those clauses would have expired. You could never snap back sanctions after 2025 if they had developed a nuclear device or enriched uranium. So by doing what he has done, he's prevented a 10th nuclear nation. There are 9 nuclear nations out there. You handle a nuclear nation much differently than a non-nuclear nation. So give him full credit for that, and people need to really understand what he's done. The regular people out there on the street need to understand what he has done. He's prevented a Middle East arms race, because if the Iranians would have gotten a nuclear weapon, the Saudis would have gotten a nuclear weapon, the Emiratis would have gotten a nuclear weapon, and the Iranians and the theocratic government in Iran would just be nuts enough to try to use one against Israel or somebody else. So I think what the president has done is not for your generation or my generation, but the fact he's done something very positive for our grandchildren and our children as well. So I give him full credit for that. Let's see what happens with the details and putting together with the memorandum, kind of with the final details out there. Do I trust the Iranians? Of course not. I sort of like trusting the North Koreans. You don't. It's based on their past history. But it's a pretty darn good way to start a negotiations deal, and the fact that they've got a totally depleted military and their influence is way, way down in the Middle East. So I feel pretty good about it this morning.
Yeah, Barack Obama is casting doubt on this deal and any deal that President Trump would reach with Iran, suggesting it might not be much different than what he did during his time as president. He was talking about the JCPOA, but General, you are outlining that this potential deal is very much different.
Well, it is, because when Obama set up the deal, and it's conveniently lost in a lot of the discussion, is that there were sunset clauses. The sunset clauses were enriched uranium on the centrifuges. So after starting in 2025, those would have all expired, and you couldn't snap them back. The sanctions would not snap back. People seem to forget that. That was the biggest reason in Trump 1 where we had a concern about the Iran nuclear deal, because it was just a period of time till it came back. And then everybody would have said, well, it's too late to do something about it. No, it's not. President Trump realized he didn't want to do this for future generations to let Iran have a nuclear weapon. weapon, especially with a theocratic government in charge of Iran. Give him full credit for that. It's nice for Obama to say that, but he's the one who created it with Secretary Kerry and having a snapback, known snapback provisions and sunset clauses. It's on his watch.
Yeah, General, our young conservative, Brylan Holohan, was talking about how his generation is optimistic about this. And he has a question for you right now. Brylan?
General, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us. I really appreciate you mentioning our generation because I think that's being overlooked in this entire deal and how important it is. I know I'm just a college freshman, not an expert in this field per se, but it seems like a stark contrast to me that Obama's deal was a red line in the sand. It was kind of a pretty please with the cherry on top and a plain load of cash. Don't build a nuke. And then Trump came in, wiped out their nukes, and now says, here's the deal. Can you just lay out how different this is for our generation, how helpful this is?
Well, it's a huge difference. And I mean, that's the reason why people conveniently forget about the sunset clauses and them developing a nuclear weapon. Now that we're saying they can't do it. And you can actually draw a pretty close parallel to what happened with North Korea and their development of a nuclear weapon. We kind of said the same thing, and nothing happened because of that. And previous presidents have always said, well, we can't let them have a nuclear weapon. President Trump is the first president that put a line in the sand and said, we'll not do it. When it comes to Obama, remember, he's the same president who said, I have a red line in the sand about Syria using chemical weapons against their population. They used it. And President Trump took action 3 months after he came into office to do something. So we finally said, you're not going to go any further. And I will tell you from being in the White House, you treat a nuclear nation significantly different than a non-nuclear nation. And now there's 9 of them in the world. You don't want a 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, because then you're on the brink of nuclear war. And then that can happen because of some nut out there. And the fact is, it's the younger generation that would pay the price. And the history books would really tell a terrible tale. They'd say, well, why didn't you do anything about it when you had the chance? President Trump has. Previous presidents, both Republican and Democrat, have not. They've talked about it, but haven't done anything.
He knew it would be hard, and he did it anyway. Thank you, Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, for the perspective. We appreciate it.